let's speak about our capabilities then.
Yeah.
Since we have so many hidden secrets, it seems, it would be good to expose some of them, especially, you know, one of the things that really surprised me is just how broad CGI is in terms of the fact that we work with NASA. So we're in outer space, we're in banking, we're in insurance, we're in finance.
Yeah.
It's like, it's really funny, but there was I believe it was like a little short promo video that was made a few years ago when I joined CGI about the fact that almost everything you do in your day-to-day life, like CGI is involved in like close to 90% of that. And that is a very significant number. So there is a lot, and we do have a very far reach. And I don't think everyone's aware of that, myself included. Last episode from Jamie Holland, I learned about our role in insurance, and I was pretty blown away that we are essentially the data holder for all of insurance in Canada.
That's right.
So, to either of you, and you can obviously both get your takes on this, but share some of the capabilities that CGI has that the public may not be as aware of.
Start?
Yeah, I'll take a shot and then let you add on. But first, Love, it's funny that you mentioned that video. We used that video recently as we welcomed new members into the organization in town halls with 300 new people. We showed them that video of what life is like at CGI, and it's exciting when people see that and see how much we're out there and in different areas, right? And then we get to come back to talking about the back office, which again, we already established is not necessarily the sexiest part of the world, but but it's fascinating when we think about payments and the like. If we just stay on the wealth focus for a bit, having listened to the previous wealth chats, you've had different representation from the different products we offer in a wealth space, but really it's about a continuum for the wealth industry. And I'm here today responsible for the back office side, but we have the front office capabilities around whether it's portfolio management, advisor tools for the desktop of the advisors, whether it's in the middle office around portfolio accounting or the fund accounting capabilities. It's really about that continuum sort of end to end. And I do think that from a CGI perspective, we have progress to make on demonstrating how that connects, because I think in the Canadian marketplace, you often have different buyers buying those products. Same financial service companies, but different buyers inside of those organizations. And so sometimes they don't tie them together. And I think it's incumbent on CGI to help continue to promote in the industry the value that you can get by consolidating across a value chain. Obviously, we look to create synergies through our integrations across those platforms and the like. And I think it's still incumbent on us, and it's still a hurdle we have in getting people to see that. Because again, you think about investment shop, and Tej, you've got a lot of experience from a career point of view there. So I'm curious on your take on my sort of assertion here that, it might be the same company, but they're completely different buyers in some case, right? The person who's responsible for the back office tools and the person that's responsible for the front office portfolio management tools, they're often not the same buyers, even though we can bring value across them.
Yeah, totally. And the response that I've had sharing with my network that I now work at CGI and the capabilities we have, they're always blown away. They're like, I've worked with CGI for years. I thought they just did one thing or two things and had no. And so all of a sudden we have curiosity from leadership within firms on Bay Street that want to know more about what can CGI really do for me. Because simplifying the delivery by working with a partner of choice like CGI would be a tremendous benefit, because it reduces all sorts of complications in paperwork, et cetera, in contracts. And so it's been a great story to tell that I now represent CGI, and I'm happy to introduce them to people within the organization that represents a variety of IP that we own and capabilities that we have. And again, what's fascinating about CGI is we're not confined to Canada. Because we're in 40 countries, we can bring to bear to our Canadian clients things that are happening elsewhere in the world that may be ahead of where we are in adoption in North America. So that's been a tremendous differentiator as well. So it's been an exciting story to tell so far for me.
Yeah, and I think if we just expand a little bit on the what do people not know, or other components? We've got a business consulting business, and very focused in the wealth space of late as well. And when you really think about it, when people are out there looking at partners, we have people that we would deem as competitors in the IP space. They sell software, but that's what they do. We have competitors in the, the typical SI&C consulting technology projects, but they typically don't come with a lot of IP. There's certainly people that do the business process outsourcing. Most of them don't have their own IP in that.
Mhm.
And then when you look at business consulting, there's a lot of business consulting companies out there, but they don't necessarily have the hands-on experience of running the IP, running the operations in the business. And so I think, especially with the recent addition of the BPO and Tage coming on as our product owner and driving that, I think we've got a real opportunity to even expand that sort of value proposition where CGI can come in and not just play in one of those silos that our clients and prospects typically are looking for people in each of those silos.
Yeah.
And we have a unique collection we can bring together. Now, some people in the marketplace are afraid of over consolidation with a vendor, but I think one of the good things about the CGI client-centric approach is that, as much as I talk about, we have that value chain. If somebody's interested in IP and only IP and doesn't want our business consultants there, that's
okay.
that's completely okay. We're not necessarily using one to feed the other. They're there to serve the clients as a whole and drive the greatest value we can for them.
Our management consulting team is getting a lot of traction right now in helping with regulatory reform that's happening, that's affecting pretty much everyone in the space. And so the team is rather busy, which is great because, again, as a partner, being able to deliver technology that solves these problems, management consulting on how the organization needs to change to meet the regulatory obligations is a huge benefit. And so collectively, it is such a great story that CGI has to tell, and I'm excited. I'm happy to be here. Is where I'm at right now. So,
Well, I'm glad that, that everyone's seeing the positives here. I will say, as someone who is part of the consulting group myself, management consulting, our latest offering, is something that we've been very excited about. And just to, share a little bit about how we're running it and a bit of the origins of it, we wanted to provide like true consulting to our clients because we noticed that sometimes we would go in and it was like they just, before you can even give them a product or an IP solution, there was some work that they needed to do. It had to be done, and they needed help with it, and we had the capabilities starting off with the wealth side where we can actually consult with them on a wealth management level because you know there are wealth experts on our team who are very well versed in that domain. So we decided, okay, so let's introduce this management consulting side, but we don't really want to be a typical consulting house. So what we're doing is something that we've kind of dubbed applied consulting, which is we come and we do the consulting work for you or with you, more is more like it, and then we actually stay there and we help you with the change in your organization. So it's not that we come in, for a couple of weeks or a few months, get all this data, and then leave you with like a 50-page PDF file or a deck. Instead, we're there and we are helping you now implement these changes. And as you mentioned, we have technology, we have consulting, but sometimes our technology might not be the right fit. So when we have our consulting hat on, it's very important, something that we keep on emphasizing, that it is not about having additional sales on the IP side as well, because then we wouldn't be true consultants, right?
and we wouldn't be good partners either. So
Exactly. So that's a little bit about our management consulting side that I just had to input.